Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Kickstart summer with Memorial Day values at Lowe's. Choose 4 or more eligible Samsung appliances to complete your dream kitchen and laundry room. Plus, get 10% back via MasterCard gift card rebate. Also, save now on the latest Samsung appliances, like the bespoke refrigerator with panels in a variety of colors to mix and match. It's an easy way to create your own unique look. Memorial Day values start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today. Offer ends June 13th. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Back to the conversation. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Chance for Tool tickets now. Tool coming to the Tacoma Dome in January. The secret word today, Maynard. 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 All you got to do is go to KISW.com and put Maynard, the code word, in, and your chance to win Toll tickets now. So, by the computer, get there and do that. All right, our question, what will you still eat even though it doesn't agree with you, or what won't you eat anymore? And here come those emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail.
Guys, I'll never eat a habanero or anything habanero flavored ever again. Back in my teens, I worked at Safeway. My coworker offered me $20 to eat a raw habanero pepper. So I did. It was a terrible decision. I spent the next half hour eating and drinking anything and everything I could that would help take the fire out of my mouth. What finally helped along with time in general was Fritos bean dip in the tin can. I really don't know why it helped, but it did. Just when I thought the pain was over, I had to take a leak, and I forgot to wash my hands.
Oh, yeah.
My junk was on fire for another half hour. My next bowel movement was also very, very, very painful. Never again. Later, fellas. That from Morgan.
Morgan, I did the same thing. Make sure you wash your hands before you touch your junk. If you deal with peppers, that's all.
That Packy one-chip challenge is something that is one and done for me, but ended up being profitable. Around Memorial Day weekend, me and 10 of my friends celebrated becoming fully vaccinated from COVID by doing the challenge, but we decided to make it high stakes. My friend and I placed a $200 ante, and the one that held out the longest before grabbing a bottle of whole milk or throwing up won the entire pot. At the time, we all ate our own Packy, no nibbles or single bites, and hoped for the best. After about 5 minutes, we all had a black tongue and some sweat. But exactly 1 minute later, most of my friends started dropping like flies. After about 10 minutes, it was down to just me and another friend. I was in tears. I just was gasping and dry heaving. So was he. But after 2 more minutes, he blacked out and puked his guts out. Yes, I've not only survived the one-chip challenge, but ended up $2,000 richer.
Damn.
My aftermath was absolute hell, as even after chugging my bottle of milk, I ended up praying to the porcelain god myself. Believe me, it hurts just eating that chip, but throwing it up burns even worse. It was a drunken moment of stupidity, but it helped pay for my 45th birthday vacation at Disneyland next March. Thanks for all the laughs and stay beautiful, bitcholas. That from Craig in San Jose, California. Listening every day on the Odyssey app. Have any of you guys been around anybody who's tried to do this thing? Is that the one that comes in the coffin?
It is the one that comes in the coffin. I have personally not been around somebody.
Have you ever heard? I mean, obviously.
A ton of people did it.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because when that thing got popular, I mean, every TV radio
typical
station.
challenge. Right. Okay.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I know somebody that did it.
Yeah, not me.
I'm not messing with that thing.
If you tell me it's that hot, I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. Not going to eat it. It's not worth it.
You know, we were talking about peppers earlier. I always have to tell the story. I grew up with a guy, Hardeep Chowdhury. Mm-hmm. And Hardeep, he just comes from a culture that has a lot of spicy food.
Right.
So he constantly posts pictures of him winning all these hot eating contests.
You feel like it's unfair?
I do. I'm just like, Hardeep, come on, man.
Right. Oh, yeah. Had a couple listeners inquire what the ding was all about.
Oh, yeah. So through the course of today's show, on occasion, you'd hear it. And it's just a little thing we did for ourselves so we would keep track. And essentially it was this. Because we know how these things go. So today's question was simply, what will you still eat even though it doesn't agree with you, or what won't you eat anymore? And we know how guys are. So we knew people would chime in, particularly over text.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Candy and yodeling. So every time one came in, we just did a... Instead of stopping the show, just ding. So we just counted them all up. Believe it or not, only 3. Okay. Only 3. I thought we'd hit about 9.
I just wanted to keep hitting him to mess with Matt.
Yeah, I know. Matt was all discombobulated.
He was thrown off.
On to the birthday shout-outs, Micholas. You guys have kept us going this past year. I was wondering if we could get a birthday shout-out to my youngest son, Jaden. Jaden is turning 8 today, and he's the only one this year to have a birthday on a weekday. So we could request a shout-out. If you guys could give him a little kid fish sandwich and a happy birthday from Mickey and Goofy. We're hoping to get to Pain in the Grass in 2022. I miss the KISW parties. Thank you, guys. You are amazing. That from Janice, Elijah, and brother Ethan.
Well, gosh, you turned 8 years old today. That's great news, because that means your old mom there that's sending that email, she's going to bring you down to visit us in the happiest place on earth and get all the ice cream you want.
I can't wait to see you. You got to get down here. 8's a perfect age. That's what I tell all the parents. And make sure you tell your mom and dad, not Disneyland, Disney World.
I'll try to spend all the money.
Yeah, it's a birthday shout-out. First, I want to tell you guys and the whole team of what you all do for the community is truly amazing. Can we get Mickey and Goofy telling our son Logan what a wonderful time he'll be having at the Great Wolf Lodge for the next 2 nights. Attached is his 5-day-old pic with my wedding band. And he truly, truly is a fighter.
Well, guys, usually down here in the world, we don't like to promote other places like Great Wolf Lodge, but all Goofy here's a dog, and he's related to wolves. And even though they say we're different, I've eaten at least 3 people in my life.
You know, I love it when the kids come down here, but everybody tells me how fun the Great Wolf Lodge is. I'm thinking chicken fingers, hot dogs, burgers, sodas all night long. You know what? It doesn't even matter if you have to pee at night. Enjoy that soda. Yeah.
My kids love that place, man.
I haven't been yet.
Oh, they absolutely love it.
You haven't been?
No.
Oh,
they haven't
bad
brought it up,
dad.
man. I know I'm a bad dad.
Oh, they haven't brought it up.
They haven't brought it up.
Oh,
and look, they brought up Disney World and they got shut down hard.
You can probably get there in about an hour, 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
It just depends on JBL and traffic.
How big is it?
It's right off I-5.
I mean, I know where it is.
I mean, you could see like from the outside, but I'm saying I've never been in there. Like, is it like?
Like the inside is, there are slides, that go outdoors.
Okay.
They come back inside. There's, it's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, they haven't brought it up, and I'm not going to say anything. Mm-hmm. Even when the commercials come, I'm not distracted.
Oh, look, guys, it's my friend Trent's birthday. Can I get the Dirty Germans talking about F1 and skateboarding, and that his friends don't care about either of those? Rock on, guys.
Yeah, if you want to do your birthday right, it would not be F1. It would be F2. 2 dirty Germans.
Yeah, so some of the Germans, we love the F1. It's the only thing we hate more than Belgium itself is that Belgian bastard, Max Verstappen. If your friends don't enjoy the F1, just let them know it's not their fault they don't have class.
Guys, I think it might be too late, but today is my Dirty 30. I would love Coach Ted's advice on surviving my 30s. Thanks, guys. That from Mark.
Hey, he's turning 30 today. That's good stuff. First of all, surviving 30. Well, 30s is still pretty easy, man. Maintain. The hangovers might get a little worse. You'll get a little more sore. One thing is, you'll have to get used to this. Around 36, 37, one day you'll wake up and go, slept wrong. No rhyme or reason.
It is amazing when you get to the age where you can sleep wrong, because really, to sleep correctly, all you need to do is be unconscious. And somehow you F that up.
What's the fun conversation I've had lately? Oh, Ben Gay? Not me. I use BioFreeze.
BioFreeze.
Oh yeah.
What's it like, icy hot?
Right. It's all the same kind of stuff.
It is.
This one just.
Well, where do you need it?
Yeah, what part of the body?
So after soccer, sometimes I got to put a little on my back.
Okay, all right.
Which part, lower or upper?
Right in here.
In the side?
I got you, dude.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, can you wish Wade a happy birthday?
What did I tell you 2 weeks ago after Pub League started? I go, my house on Sunday night smells like Ben Gay and weed. The smell of the athlete over.
It's almost like if they made a menthol flavored marijuana.
Yeah.
It is, really. It's like, ooh, hot shower, menthol.
Guys, can you wish Wade a happy birthday? It's his 30th trip around the sun. How about a fish sandwich? Or your penis is too small? And the Dirty Germans congratulating him on marrying a lesbian. Thanks again. Love you, boys. That from the Boss Boys.
Do I get a fish sandwich?
Yeah, congratulations on marrying this lesbian. It seems to me that the three-way would be a lot more opportunistic for you.
Yeah, I just don't know what the rules are. She call us that since you're married to a man. But either way, I'm assuming tonight on your birthday you'll be going out for sushi.
But tell us, it's our friend Matt's 36th orbit around the sun. Can he get your penis is too small? And the Dirty German's talking about his weird fascination with unicorns and their horns. Thanks, guys, and keep on rocking. That from Brandon and Glenn.
Yeah, it is not a weird fascination. If you offer me a horse or you offer me a unicorn, I would take the unicorn. I just ride on its head.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's one thing. I know lots of people that love the unicorns. They're usually small little girls. This is a weird one. And you're specifically enamored with the horn? Why not a rhino? That's a real man's animal.
But tell us, today I'll be 41. Coach Ted will be joining me here in a few months. So if I could, I'd humbly ask Coach to go over the 41 game plan and list the 3 keys to success in the coming year. Thanks, guys. And from Micah, also, I believe I'm required by law to tell you that I live in California, Los Angeles, to be exact.
41 game plan. Not gonna lie to you, Coach hasn't thought about it a ton. But if I had to guess, I'd say at this point we know the standards. We're gonna save a little more money, spend less. We're gonna eat the food we buy. And we're gonna have more sex. I promise.
Good afternoon. Would you please give a birthday shout out to our middle brother Kevin, who recently found out that he is not as fleet of foot as he thinks he is. He's turning 55 today, recently slipped on what he said was wet grass, and now his arm is in a sling for a fracture. We will still tolerate him and humor his story. The medical alert application should start to show up at his house any day now. Please give him a suck it up cupcake. And the Dirty German's talking about him having to use his right hand for self-satisfaction since he is left-handed. Thank you, guys. That from Mike.
So, suck it up, cupcake!
Yeah, I'll tell you what I would do for you. If you need practice, you can practice giving me stimulation with your right hand.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. He's a left-hander, so he has to go right-handed. So I don't know about this one, because this German thinks within 13 days you'll have it down.
All right, guys, here we go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ja, the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks less?
Yay! Time for Who Sucks Last. Steve Thrill Hill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of these 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you follow KISW on Twitter, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. And like you said, we have 3 stories. One of these stories, I think, well, I know it's not the right thing to do, but I like what he did. Someone else, I go, well, you didn't handle it right, but I understand why you made your decision. And the third one, the hell is wrong with you? But let's start in Denmark. We all love Denmark. So the Kunsten Museum of Modern Art, they just gave an artist named Jens Hanning $84,000. And they gave him that money because they expected the artist to recreate 2 of his previous works. Instead, he gave the museum 2 blank canvases that he named Take the Money and Run. Now, the $84,000 was actually meant for him to place on the canvases to reproduce 2 separate pieces he's done. One was called an average Danish annual income. Right? And the idea was that you put the money up there, it's how much to make. The other was the average Austrian annual income. Same theory. So they gave him $84,000 cash that he's then to apply to the canvas. Instead, he gave him the 2 blank canvases, and like I said, called Take the Money and Run. Now, that said, the contract stated that the artist was to return the $84,000 after the exhibition, which closes next year. And as such, according to the museum director, he hasn't actually breached the contract yet. But they want to be clear that the museum will take action if he does. And the artist, for the most part, has been kind of mum and a little cryptic about what his plans are for the $84,000. Because what the museum knows is, we gave you the money in cash. It's not on the canvases. You got it. By the way, they actually paid him just under $4,000 to do the artwork.
To do nothing.
To do nothing. Now, we move to, the state of Maryland, but we have to go to Pennsylvania for this. A Maryland man, he assaulted his wife after she FaceTimed him while she was having sex with another man inside of a parked car outside of a Best Western hotel in Pennsylvania. Now, when he got the video calls, William Atkinson, he asked a friend to drive him to the parking lot so they could, quote-unquote, confront the victim and her male companion. Well, the duo, Atkinson told police, they were egging him on during the FaceTime calls. Well, when he arrived at the parking lot, he did beat the hell out of the other man, and then the unknown man fled the scene. They haven't even heard from him since. He then punched and kicked his 32-year-old spouse. And the beating left the woman, who Atkinson said was his wife of 3 years, severely bruised and bleeding heavily from her face, nose, and mouth. Now, he claimed to have only slapped her, but a witness reported seeing him actively kick her in the face. And the cops seized his shoes, which were covered in blood. They did not obtain a statement from the victim, who was, quote, extremely intoxicated and uncooperative with officers. That's the wife. So she will not press charges against him. I don't know how PA state law works, if the state can press, but either way, she was drunk, wouldn't press charges. But
this sounds like they were like in the Chambersburg area. Because if you could get to a different state that quickly, and then they're still there, doing their thing after you got a ride from somebody else, that was a marathon sex session.
Yeah, and he was a little upset. And now we go to Las Vegas. This is ridiculous to me. So a bartender, he was given an ultimatum to reimburse money that was stolen from the bar at gunpoint or be fired from his job. So the armed robbery occurred at the Western Las Vegas Valley. That's back in December of last year. And according to the local paper, the Metropolitan Police Department said in a statement at the time that a male brandished a handgun at employees before the suspect fled the business with money taken from the business. Well, Edward Parker, he was working at the Lodge Bar at the time, so now his employers instructed him to reimburse them for their financial loss. Now, after a photo purporting to show the Lodge repayment form was uploaded, bless you, he posted the form that his employers gave him to a private Facebook page. It has over 14,000 members. It's described as a gathering of bartenders, servers, and industry professionals that live and work in Vegas, right? So if you're in the service industry there, that's part of your Facebook group. And this is cited as proof of the bartender being presented with two stark options. Either repay the stolen $4,000 in full through a lump sum payroll deduction or via $300 equal deductions from paychecks. So again, he's not the only person there. There are several employees there. Guy comes in with a handgun. He's going to shoot you if you don't get the money. So he's like, well, take the money. And they're like, yeah, we want the money back. So again, these are our three stories. We have the artist over in Denmark who was given $84,000 to recreate two previous works. And he presented them works. It's just two blank canvases, again, that he called Take the Money and Run. We have the man in Maryland that had to drive up to Pennsylvania because his wife, for whatever reason, intentionally FaceTimed him while having sex with another man inside of a car. And finally, in this case, the bar owners threatening the bartender's job if he can't reimburse them the money that an armed criminal stole from their place.
Well, obviously, the Maryland couple, they have a very different relationship.
Have you seen some of the stuff on that?
What, the Maryland couple?
I'm pretty sure she's already been arrested before for attempted murder on him.
Yes. Yeah, they got a long rap sheet.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't press charges. She was taunting him on the video. That does not justify his actions by any stretch of the imagination, but you could see where the guy would snap to some point, but I think he definitely crossed the line completely there. So I'm going to say that he sucks the most, based on the violence that was involved in that. The bartender in Vegas, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, it seems like you could get a lawyer and sue these people just based on the fact that you're an employee.
Yeah.
You know, the situationally, like, I'm not responsible for paying back what this guy stole.
Who knows how the law works in different states? I mean, I agree with you. I don't know the legalities of it, but it just seems morally I have a problem with it.
And one thing for certain, there's a lot of bars in Vegas. Hopefully this guy will work for a better person and get a different job.
Well, it's the one thing where he's like, man, I'll lose my job. I'm like, dude, you're a bartender in Vegas. You can get another job.
Yeah, there's other spots.
Okay. So I'm going to say the artist in Denmark because we don't know if he's going to give that money back. Granted, it was a D move.
But it's funny.
But yeah, it is funny.
I think
and at the end of the time, if he returns the money and maybe even the $4,000 that he was given, then pretty funny joke. So I'm going to say he sucks the least.
Yeah, I agree. The one in Maryland's just so bad. It's
so bad.
It's so bad, right? She'd already been arrested for attempted murder on him. And then FaceTiming somebody while you're doing that, you know, like that's awful what he did, but also that's a crime of passion. But yeah, I think the bar owners in Vegas suck the most.
They might, because there's no provocation for it. Look, the guy in Maryland, he shouldn't have done what he did, but I understand his reaction when someone goes out of the way to do that.
Yeah.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less. If you follow KISW on Twitter, you are listening to The Men's Room.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Kickstart summer with Memorial Day values at Lowe's. Choose 4 or more eligible Samsung appliances to complete your dream kitchen and laundry room. Plus, get 10% back via MasterCard gift card rebate. Also, save now on the latest Samsung appliances, like the bespoke refrigerator with panels in a variety of colors to mix and match. It's an easy way to create your own unique look. Memorial Day values start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today. Offer ends June 13th. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
Coming up in minutes, we will drink, we will toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check out with Mike Hawk. That's some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Yes, coming up on the late night show. Beekeepers in Boston removed a massive beehive earlier this week that had grown 50 feet up a local building to a few 100,000 bees. Goodness gracious.
Damn. How do you, is that a house? I mean, I feel like at some point I'd be like, yeah, maybe we should call someone.
Honestly, I think it was just
randomly.
Regular old city building, yeah. And this thing was 50 feet up. And, I get that you can't see it at first, but after a while, you know that those bees are there. You can see up there to see them.
You definitely know there's bees around them when there's a hive.
Right. Yeah. There's somebody with a desk next to that window that can see that beehive for me.
Fred, have you called anyone yet? It's at the 5th story now.
It's getting rather cumbersome here. More than 50% of the country describes themselves as minimalist with their decor, saying 7 pieces is more than enough. 7 pieces of art and furniture.
7 pieces of furniture?
Yes.
I mean, I guess it depends on the size of the place you live, but
I feel like
that's a big one. When I had like a 1-bedroom apartment, that's probably about what I had. Like a bed, a dresser, coffee table, sofa.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe another table in there.
But now with 2 goddamn kids, big ass house, like.
But I feel like that's the style nowadays. It's like basically you want a couch, a table, maybe a TV in there, a handful of plants, and pictures on the wall. And everything for some reason is painted white. It's kind of the
my house is super color, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. There's color everywhere.
The pandemic was the cause
Is that newer, though? I mean, I grew up in a house, right? It wasn't a big house, but we had, a bathroom, 3 bedrooms. We had a couch upstairs, couch downstairs,
the table
TV.
that accompanied, maybe a side table for the obligatory lamp.
I think that is a new thing. I think that just this day and age, that tends to be the quote unquote in style when it comes to your home decor is minimalist.
But I think a lot of it too is tech, right? Just the fact, when we were growing up, everything you had, you needed something to accompany that.
Sure.
So if you had the stereo system goes one place and that was on the shelf, but you can stream everything on your phone now. So a lot of that stuff was rendered absolutely useless. So it's a lot easier, I think, just to live free of crap.
Sure. The pandemic was the cause of a run on toilet paper, and now it's the cause of a run on tiny Shetland ponies.
I'm sorry, what's the connection now?
Basically, when everybody was locked down
if I can't wipe my ass on toilet paper, I've tried all manner of woodland creature. Otters fight back. Possums just hate it. The crows remember, but Shetland ponies are like, go ahead.
Honestly, it happened out in Scotland, I believe, and it was just all these people that own this farmland. Now all of a sudden they're not allowed to leave their homes. They can't go into town. They can't go to the pub, which they love to do. They can't really go to market. There's not a whole lot to do out there. So they were like, screw it. Let's get ourselves a cute little pony that we can just. This becomes our project. This becomes what brings us joy every day is these ponies.
Man, that's never my mindset.
Are they real or fake?
No, they're real.
And do their arms just stick out?
What?
Huh?
What are you picturing in your head right now? Because to answer your question, no.
I dated a girl that had a tiny dog.
Okay.
And if you didn't know him and you picked him up, she would always go like, oh, he's like a little Shetland pony, because he would just stand there, like if you're holding him, you know what I mean, by like his stomach like this, his paws would just be out like this.
Okay.
So do they not bend much?
No, they do. They're
God
short, stubby
damn.
little things. Yeah.
I always thought of Shetland ponies as like the like the little toy horses.
No, I mean they're a real thing. Would you want that because you're
Miles, how you gonna go to the picture of Shetland pony Shetland?
I mean that's.
You want to see what Shetland ponies look
Would
like?
I want one? Yes. I'd have a Shetland pony and a corgi.
Basically, they were saying that since the pandemic, the value of these animals and the price of these animals has absolutely skyrocketed. And there's even a little bit of a shortage on them. So
a shortage of there should never be a shortage of Shetland ponies.
I know.
You're sad, Shetland
I can't tell who's saying the joke. A shortage of Shetland ponies?
A shortage of Shetland ponies.
He's all
Oh, jeez. He does look sad, but show him that majestic one.
Hair blowing in the wind?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You've seen
Here,
it?
Mike, come here, I'll show you.
Sure, hang on.
Mike already knows, like, oh, I'm familiar with that one. He's famous.
Look at this guy right here.
That's the only famous pony I know.
Oh, easy now.
He does look sad. Well, he's out in the rain.
Yeah, he's in the rain already.
If I had a Shetland pony, I'd let him come inside the house.
You're not in the rain, but he's getting wet.
There's a joke I could make. Is that what you're calling it now?
I should say the barn. I wouldn't let him in my house. He could come in the barn.
Oh, man. A new study
Oh,
found...
wait. Somebody says, weren't you guys going to get a Shetland pony? If I remember this right, it was a couple of years ago. I don't know why this
We
came
priced them. They're about $4,000.
That's what it was, yeah. We wanted one. And
We also wanted a monkey.
I wanted one for a long time, but then I found out they're really mean.
What, Shetland ponies?
Like those mini... Is that the same? Is that different than a mini horse?
Yes. I believe so.
All right.
Mike, did we ever tell you about the time we were going to get a monkey? And
my father.
Sorry.
Oh, my boss.
we're going to get a monkey and lock him in our box's office because he's a germaphobe. And then when he opened the door, there's going to be a monkey, and the monkey would have completely destroyed his life. We were seriously looking to see if we can borrow a monkey for just 2-3 hours before he got into work.
And we got in a little trouble because he came back.
What?
He had pissed us off about something, right? And he had really pissed us off. Then we went on the air 5 minutes later. So we're like, look, we're scrapping the show. We need a monkey. We called the zoo. We called pet stores, and they're like, well, why do you need it? We said, to be honest with you, our boss is being a douchebag. He's a germaphobe, and we want to lock the monkey in.
Monkey in his office.
What was he going to do?
We don't know. We just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
He seems like such a guy that would take that joke, though.
You've met him.
A new study found that listening to stories with someone else will make your hearts sync up.
Wait, so now?
Yes, listening to stories with somebody else will make your heart sync up.
Listening to stories based on what the emotion that the story...
That's a good question, Miles.
I would guess so. Or you're both just bored to tears.
Pretty much. There's a professor in England that says that if you can no longer fit into the jeans that you were wearing at the age of 21, you're at risk for diabetes.
All right.
Dude, that's everybody who's 30 years old or older.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I don't think
you're the same. Your waist might be an inch bigger than it was, but it's roughly the same size.
I'm about the same, but I'm an anomaly, man. I mean, almost everyone I know.
I have carried about the same body weight since I have been 16.
Really?
I was always somewhere between 190 and 200 pounds. So my jeans haven't changed. Yours have gone down.
I was just saying, I'm smaller.
Right. So
unfortunately, but I'm still pretty sure I'm at risk for diabetes.
I think we all That's based on our love of chicken wings and, not the healthiest foods.
Exactly. And our access to adult money where we can buy anything that we want. Mm-hmm. Goodness.
Hey, somebody here says they can get us a Shetland pony for $100.
$100?
No chance. Something's wrong with that pony.
You don't trust a $100 Shetland pony?
We're trying to unload this.
I bring it up every time. You ever seen the Seahawks Shetland pony?
I have not.
Somebody email in. He's got a famous name. When they won the Super Bowl years ago, I met that horse down outside of King Street.
Did you get his autograph? Take a picture? Anything?
You're damn right I took a picture.
Okay, just making sure.
I would think it's somewhere on my Facebook, but I took a picture, and then somebody's always like, "Oh, I know that lady. She paints his hair and stuff."
There you go.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, I've seen him.
Not shocking, a new survey found that experiences are going to be more popular than physical gifts this year.
I think that
The experience of not getting a gift.
Well, because most people have been locked up. You know what I mean? They want to go out and do things.
Exactly.
But also, you've been sitting there locked up. A lot of people went Amazon crazy, etc. Like you've surrounded yourself with the toys you want.
There was already a lot of retail therapy going on.
Now, if you're a parent, it's always the experiences.
Yeah.
Like the kids are like, I don't want an experience. I want the experience of unwrapping a gift.
I just want to open a present. This comes to us from Mental Floss. It says, ever wondered how much it would cost to live like some of your favorite fictional characters from movies and TV shows?
Oh, sure.
Real-life real estate values were used to determine the cost of several homes that are in movies and TV shows, and lucky for you guys, I have brought it for you. So let's play a little bit of a game here.
Okay.
I gave you guys 10 photos over there of the different houses that we're going to go through, just based on what you guys know of the housing market and what you can assess from these homes. Let's see if you guys can get at least within the ballpark of what these houses cost. So we're going to start at number 10 with the Simpsons house. Again, it's from Springfield,
Oregon.
Springfield, Oregon, really?
Yeah. And it's a small, tiny little town.
Right?
So
does that play into
also,
it?
Yes, it's also in the middle of nowhere because if it's based on real estate prices, I had to go to Springfield, Oregon, figure out the median cost of the home.
I would say 140.
That house is.
That was based on Portland.
Well, Springfield, Oregon.
So I'm going to say it's 140.
140
I'll
grand.
say it's 285.
Miles going 285. Ted, what are you thinking there, bud?
325.
325. Ted, you were the closest without going over. You guys remember, this is Oregon, so that lovely house right there is right around $484,000.
Jesus.
I'm saying it's close to Portland.
That guy
Well,
right
I guess he
there.
works at a nuclear plant.
Moving on to our next series over here is the Hobbit Hole from the Lord of the Rings. So if you guys don't know what a Hobbit Hole is, basically the hobbits are... They're not quite dwarfs, but they've... But they basically dug their homes into the ground. So a Hobbit Hole...
You gotta be to let me use the Hobbit Hole.
This is in England, right?
No, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
It's in a shire.
So, exactly. So it's buried within the ground. It's got some pretty good square footage that's
The interior
inside of there.
looks very nice.
I'm going to say
Interior's fantastic.
$750.
$750,000. Miles, what do you think of there, buddy?
Not knowing anything about the cost of real estate in New Zealand, I will say it is $375,000.
300 grand.
I'll
Ted
split
Smith.
the difference. I'll say 500,000.
Mr.
You're
Hill?
building underground.
You are the closest without going over, Mr. Hill, as it is $1.5 million.
That is $1.5 million?
It's
in
New
the
Zealand.
ground.
I know, but it's
God.
New Zealand. That's why I put that on
You
there.
understand the architecture that needs to go into this thing. At number 8, as far as the real-life cost of homes and movies and TV shows, we have the McAllister's house from Home Alone.
And that's in Chicago,
I'm gonna say
right?
3.5.
3.5 million. All right.
I'll
How
say
many rooms are in
3.
that thing? Like 12 rooms within this house, not to mention a handful of really big, great rooms that are in there. It's
You know
got
what?
an attic space, a good
4
basement.
million. 4 million.
It's
Well,
got that
4
old
million.
wood furnace.
I'll say $2 million.
2 million. Ted, what was yours one more time?
I said 3.5 million.
3.5. All of you guys went over. The McAllister's house in Home Alone is about $1.6 million.
Really?
It's a nice house.
Uh-huh.
You could not get that in Seattle for any less than $3 million.
That is
No
a fact.
chance.
That is
No
a fact.
chance.
Let's head on over to the pond to England, where we have the Burrow, which is the Weasley family home from the Harry Potter series. Now, if you don't know, the Weasleys were a impoverished family there. They did a lot with hand-me-downs, and so they kind of made this house work. It's got an attachment that was basically built on the top of it to be houses for the other members of the household there. What are you guys thinking as far as the real estate goes for the Burrow, as it's known, the Weasley family home?
If it's close to London, it'll be more than it's worth, but I'm going to say 85 grand.
$85,000, Miles?
I'll say 55.
55 grand. Ted Smith?
I'll say 100.
Ted, you are the closest without going over, and none of you guys were any close at all. We are actually increasing the value each time we go to one of these homes. That thing is $1.7 million.
For that?
For that shack?
For that shack,
I'm
right?
taking
That's
the
a shack.
McAllisters, dude.
That is a shack. You got to live in. That's how much it really costs to live in England in a shack.
Sure.
Oh my God.
This is just based on what real estate.
Oh my
what they
God.
say here. Real estate values were used to determine these costs. So I think it's just based on the location.
The location,
and
sure.
and
it's not
the
attached. And it's not attached.
Yeah.
Well, you get a lot of property.
And the lot footage, yeah.
Right, exactly. The lot's big, and then a lot of homes in London and stuff are like row houses.
Come on back over to this side. We're going to go to New York. Monica's apartment in Friends. Again, you got to remember that this is in New York.
Is this are we going monthly rent or what it would cost?
Overall cost. You are buying this apartment.
I'll say 2.5.
2.5.
4.
$4 million. Miles Montgomery.
3.5.
The near cost of Monica's apartment, Ted, you were the closest, but you did go over $1.9 million for that apartment.
All right. Yeah, it's always crazy. And then they live in the Upper West Side.
Exactly. And you know what? It'd probably be $4 million as long as you told them that it was indeed the apartment that was used in Fred's. These are real-life cost of homes and movies and TV shows. The next one we're going to go to is the Addams Family Mansion.
Where is it located? Do we know?
That's a good question.
I
Where
mean,
is the Addams Family?
Transylvania?
Looks like it's on a hill in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it really does.
And you're saying that these costs are continually increasing, so this has to be more than $1.9 million, Mike?
Exactly. This is
that?
an ever increasing.
Oh, God. I'll say 2. It can't be worth that much money.
Are you kidding?
Now, this says Hollywood, California. Like, are they legit?
They're saying they're in Hollywood.
I
$3
guess.
million.
All right.
$3 million.
Okay. $2.5 million.
2.5. $3 million. Ted?
2.1.
Miles, you got it with 2.5. It's $2.8 million to live in the Addams Family Mansion.
I mean, it's a mansion.
Let's go to Miles's favorite show on Netflix. It's the Rosebud Motel, and I'm not going to say what that show is. Y'all know what it is. Because I don't like saying the name of the show. I run this side of the board.
But nobody else knows what this. We can see the picture. We know people don't know personally what my favorite show is, Mike. If you're going to do this, you need to tell them the show.
The name of the show is Schitt's Creek.
Okay, very good.
Watch your filthy mouth.
Yeah, why are you cussing on the air? Did you dump that?
Jeez, man. Come on.
I actually know they just sold this.
Did they?
For real?
Yeah, it's a little over $3 million, I think.
All right, you know what? Since Miles already knows, it's $3.5 million for the Rosebud Motel.
What was it worth before they used it for
Not
the show?
$3.
Not a dime.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no.
Going on to number 3, we have Elsa's Ice Castle from the movie Frozen.
Well, who the hell would know what an ice house costs?
Where is it?
This is in,
Is it like Norway or something like that?
I think it is Norway.
It's in Hawaii.
It's in Hawaii.
All right, we'll say she's in Oslo.
I thought it's Scandinavian. I know that much.
Mountainside property. It's got a very grand entrance. I mean, the crystalline everything inside of there.
$5 million.
You're on a glacier. I'll say $4.5 million.
4.5. Ted Smith.
I'll say 3.5.
You can actually trade it directly across for the Rosebud Motel. $3.5 million for Elsa's Frozen Castle.
Boom.
Let's go on to one that our own The Ted Smith should know fairly well. We're going to go on back down to L.A. for BoJack Horseman's apartment. It says his house, so
that's a house.
This thing is cliffside. It's got a very grand entrance. It's got a gate at the front.
It's got a pool. He's in the Hollywood Hills.
There you go. So what's this thing going to run you here?
6.5.
6.5. 5. Ted
All right,
Smith.
I'll go low. I'll say 4.
It is, Miles, you were the closest without going over. $5.9 million for BoJack Horseman's house.
He was on a big show back in the day.
He was, man.
Yeah, one earthquake, that thing's gone.
What was the name of the show, Ted?
Oh, I don't remember.
Horsing around, man. BoJack Horseman.
I'm a Mr. Peanut Butter guy.
And this is the final. This is the most expensive house that they've got on this list from Mental Floss. Real life cost of Downton Abbey on the show, Downton Abbey.
Is it supposed to be in London or outside?
This is London, I believe.
I'll say $10 million.
$10 million.
11.5.
11.5. Ted Smith.
$14 million.
If you guys combined all of your prices, you still wouldn't have enough to buy this $179.2 million. I'm going to call it a mansion. It's not a house. That thing is a doggone mansion, man. Damn. A man in Iowa was caught driving 103 miles per hour in a 65, but he's got a good reason.
What was that excuse?
Tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are on the way 1 hour from now. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-421-ROCK. All right, have we made it to drinking time?
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Kickstart summer with Memorial Day values at Lowe's. Choose 4 or more eligible Samsung appliances to complete your dream kitchen and laundry room. Plus, get 10% back via MasterCard gift card rebate. Also, save now on the latest Samsung appliances, like the bespoke refrigerator with panels in a variety of colors to mix and match. It's an easy way to create your own unique look. Memorial Day values start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today. Offer ends June 13th. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.